but I come from a background of building brands from the ground up. I was in the skate, surf, and snow industry for a long time, and it's a hard battle to start from nothing, create a name, create a brand, and then create a following. And if you don't, one thing I can tell you about this particular industry is, which is different from the skate, surf, and snow industry, is skate tends to kind of try to have events, and at those events, all the brands go, all the apparel lines go, all the people go, and they move those events around. In our group, in cycle groups and rider groups, it just seems to me like what we have a lot going on right now is we have a lot of events happening every Saturday and Sunday, every weekend. There's a lot of shit going on, and we're getting dispersed and we're getting diluted, and these events aren't really turning out the way we'd hope for them to turn out. And we're driving a lot of miles, and we're spending a lot of money in some cases. Sometimes it's not that much money, but it is still time. 8 hours, sitting at a place on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday and Sunday, and I don't know if it's worth it. So I just thought maybe I could pull together some of you guys, put the word out there. We get down to kind of going through this agenda a little bit, and then just really kind of free form this thing. It's fluid, man. I'm not like, I don't profess to be some guy that knows everything about, how to kind of do this with this group, but I do believe that we have a lot of really powerful brains and really smart people in this room, and I think if we put our minds together, we can come up with some kind of a plan or do some kind of strategize a little bit better so that we can do better events, have better turnouts. People like Amber over at Josie's Hideout or the Hideout, she's got to do something every single weekend. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we can't be there every single weekend, but we surely can be there a couple times a month. And when we come, we can surely roll with 400 riders and really make it happen for her. And then she goes off to doing her stuff, and then we maybe focus on another location. So anyway, man, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to start with introductions from this side of the room, go around the room, and then come back to me. I'm going to be a lot less exciting than probably most of you guys. So, okay, thank you for coming, and welcome, man. All right, my friend.
Chris, Low Side Clothing Brand.
Can't see you.
Oh, Chris, Low Side Clothing Brand.
Don't say your last name, it's anonymous.
I'm Hannah, I'm Malika's wife, Kanaka Keely MC. Shelby, I help Glenn work on bikes.
Cameron, I'm Glenn's son.
Bob, I own House of Horsepower in Escondido.
I'm Happy, Kanaka Hikili MC. I'm the president of the San Diego chapter. So, yeah.
Amber, Josie's Hideout Saloon.
Aaron, I like to ride up Palomar, all the local rides around here.
Dabbles Sport Customs.
Bill Dow, Regional Director for Law Tigers.
Gabriel, Law Tiger San Diego.
Steve, I sell Pokemon.
I'm going to go out and tell you guys, this guy makes more money than all of us selling Pokemon cards. We're in the wrong business, we're going to find out. We'll let them tell you more about that in a little bit.
I'm Jason. I'm a Route 101 rider.
Elon, Route 101 rider as well.
I'm Doc, Twisted Throttle, Instagram, YouTube.
I'm John with Johnny Car. I do mobile motorcycle sales.
I'm Davey. I'm one of the founders and leaders of SoCal Riders community.
I'm Dakota, and I'm just a local rider. And I'm Hunter, and I just ride as much as I can.
I forgot to mention, it wouldn't have hurt to kind of give a little inclination of the types of followings that we all have, but I can go on record and say that in this room we right now have people that have 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 10,000 followers, groups of people that, we have businesses in here that have been around. How long, Amber? Not the new,
1936 is when it was built, but I think the 1950s is kind of when it became a destination.
This is an iconic location that pulls riders whether she wakes up in the morning or not, sort of. I know it's still an absolute ton of work. I'm not selling you short by any stretch. But anyways, okay, my name's Glenn. I'm the owner of Route 101 Motorsports. We started, first of all, a little bit about me. Been riding since I was 4 years old. Raced motocross back in the late 80s, going into the early part of the 90s for 14 years. Graduated from racing motocross into racing 750 GP bikes for 7 years. I've never stopped riding all my life. I've always owned bikes in my house. All of my kids started riding at 4 years old. We're a family that just absolutely loves motorcycles, loves riding, and just wants to embrace the culture and wants to just do anything we can to participate in it. Last August, my brother Kevin Cogan, I don't know if any of you follow IndyCar racing at all. My brother Kevin Cogan's a 22-year Indianapolis veteran. He suffered 2 massive grand mal seizures. When they got him into the hospital and did some CAT scans on his brain, they found that he had suffered from some of his accidents some massive CTE, which they didn't know about back in the 80s and 90s when he was driving Indy cars. And the net result was that he was left in a situation where he couldn't really care for himself. He couldn't really take care of his life, his finances. He was deemed, basically they said you got to admit him into assisted living, and he's probably going to live out the rest of his days there. It is extremely expensive, and I was looking at how we were going to try to figure out how to care for him, and I went and talked to some financial advisors that I love and trust and respect, that I've known for 30, 40 years, guys I've grown up with that have gone on. I mean, one of my friends owns a 19-story building in downtown Irvine. McManus Cooper is the name of his firm, and I got him on speed dial for any decision I ever make, and it fortunately doesn't cost me, but he said, don't put any money in the market. Don't buy any real estate right now. We're in for a long road of ups and downs. You're going to watch it disappear. You're going to watch it come back. And I'm not exactly sure what you need to do to start generating income to help offset your brother's costs, but I suggest you go do what you do. And I'm like, what I do? What I do is I struggle every day, and I scratch and claw to try to pay every bill. I sometimes look at one bill and go, I'll pay it later. He said, I'm talking about creating businesses, man. I've watched you create brands. You've done it for 24 years in the skate industry. I think you need to go out and create a business. And meditated about it, went to the beach a lot about it, stared at the sunsets a lot about it. And there's one thing in my life that's always been a solid and a constant, and it's motorcycle riding. And my first thought was, how do I incorporate motorcycle riding into something that could be a business for me that I could do? And then my first thought was, I'll buy and sell bikes. It's easy. I know bikes. I can buy GSXRs, I can buy Harleys, I can buy them for a cheap price from people that are struggling or need help with cash, and I can turn around and flip them. And pretty soon I started getting some good deals on bikes. Pretty soon I had 10 bikes, or 6 bikes, then 8 bikes, then 10 bikes. And I'm like, I don't want to sell these things. I'm not in a real rush to sell them. And then the idea of doing this rental business kind of came up. And that's where Route 101 was born. And to be honest with you, when I created Route 101, I didn't in a million years think I'd be able to get that name. And one thing led to another. I got the name. We filed a trademark on it. We got our tagline, go just go. Next thing you know, we've got these trademarks in this business, and full support of the rider community, including all of you sitting here right now, which has been so cool. But I want you to know this business funds my brother's care, not my life. And so having you here means a lot to me. And just so you know, when you see us out there, when you see us at a trade show, when you see us at an event, or you see us out riding, every single thing that I'm doing has to do with generating money for paying for my brother's aftercare. So anyway, with that said, that's who I am. My reason for calling this meeting is because I feel like we don't have to do everything together all the time. But I do feel like I've been to a lot of events lately where there's only been 40 riders, 30 riders, 100 riders even, which is a good turnout. And I feel like if we could get a group of people like us together and kind of strategize about how we do things, at least this time we could walk away from this event with our wheels ticking and our brains kind of moving in that direction. And maybe hopefully we could somehow get to a point where it's like, okay, we're going to Josie's this weekend. We got Bob's House Feed. I forget all the names of everybody we got in here, but basically we've got everybody that's in this room. We're going to be creating a flyer. We're going to be busting our stuff out on social media. We're going to be boosting our posts to the degree we can. And hopefully when people are on their social media, it's not just Glenn from Route 101 announcing that I'm going to do a ride next Saturday. It's Glenn announcing that he's doing a ride. It's Bob's, it's Lowside, it's everyone. And people are getting bombarded and realizing that we're all in this together, and that out of that comes increased business, great connections, brand awareness, and so on and so forth. I want to really kind of open the table up to some chat about like what you guys all think. So anyway, agenda, purpose of the meeting: encourage collective group strategizing, brainstorming to hopefully inspire new and creative ideas for events and rides, ride event destinations, and ride start and end points in a more organized, collaborative, group-inclusive, non-conflicting way to benefit all. And the non-conflicting part strictly has to do with not overlapping so many events in a weekend where like riders just don't know where to go. Discuss how members of this group might distribute event ride responsibility, share costs for sponsored rides, events, depending on who's a main, secondary, third level, or lower level event sponsor, promoter, vendor, so no one group or business carries the burden for paying for everything. This is not about collecting money from you. This is not about how we're going to spend our money. But I do believe that if we all work together, it's actually possible to spend a hell of a lot less money and have each spend less money and have a hell of a bigger impact and a hell of a better turnout. Because, you know, I spend a fortune every month. I mean, Bob, where are you? Were you sitting around here somewhere?
Right.
There you are. I know what Steve has mentioned a couple times, like those guys are really doing it on Instagram. It's blowing up, it's starting to happen. Like, it costs a lot of money to do that. It costs a lot of money to blow that stuff out there. And we're just picking and choosing what we spend and how we do it. But I mean, it's costly. Now, I'm not asking anyone to pay for my advertising. What I am telling you is, for $500 or $200 or $300, 30 days before some riding event, if we collectively pool our money and we each put $20-$30 into some pot, we can boost a post or boost, you know, everybody can have a certain number of boosted posts about the event. And anyway, just the concept being that we should somehow get into some sort of a thought process where, like, somebody's thinking about a plan and an idea, and I have the power to be able to blow it out to all you guys and other people. By the way, there's several people that didn't make it today that wanted to be here, that obviously we're taping all this stuff. They're going to watch this. Crew from Biggs Harley, Clint, August. I got a couple phone calls from a couple other people that weren't going to be able to make it, but these are influential people with, I mean, we have a couple people that have 1 million followers. They're brands that do detail style products for bikes and cars, and these are the kind of guys that if we work together and they put something on their website, we get a lot of traction. So I think I already covered this, but strategize, brainstorm, event calendar dates, patterns. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but as of 2021, San Diego County has 86,269 registered riders, motorcycle riders. You probably know that down at your end of it. In fact, I might have got that off your website. Riverside County has 51,917 riders. Orange County 60,100. This is 21, by the way, 2021. This is not 2023. Los Angeles County 155,065 riders, registered bikes riders. Imperial County 3,000. San Bernardino 46. There's 402,980 total registered bikes underneath riders' asses within a 100-mile radius of our location here. There is absolutely no fucking reason why we should have 40 riders show up at our events if we're doing this right. There's absolutely no reason.
That's right.
There is absolutely no reason why this event that I went to a couple weeks ago should have had only 1,000 people and 100 riders registered. Not for the company they are, not for how many years they've been doing it. And I'm not bagging on them because I love them. They're absolutely, like, I mean, we're core friends, and we're all just shocked at how it kind of played out. But we see what's going on, and what I think is we're diluting this crowd. So we got 402,000 riders out there that you can, that you're out there to protect when they fall, that you're out to promote to, like for events, that Bob's out there to fix bikes for, and then when he's fixing their bikes, that I'm here to rent them a bike for. I mean, and we got clothing, clothing company, Broken Chain over here. We're going to be in stop mode for a second. So anyway, man, just a little fun fact I thought you guys should know. I don't know if anybody knows that or if anybody ever thought about it, but it's a fun fact. 91, 92, I created something called the local card. There was nothing ever named the local card. The local card didn't exist. I actually trademarked the name local card. I was living in Park City, Utah at the time. We had a population of roughly 18,000 in Park City proper, of which about 40% was transient. So in Park City, as soon as the snow melted and the resorts closed, it went down to about 10,000 people, and the restaurants, a lot of the restaurants closed for the summer. A lot of them went through like renovations. A lot of businesses just closed their doors. They survived on what they made during the winter, and they closed during the summer. And I just thought it was lame that locals couldn't eat in some of our finer restaurants or some of our nicer places, or even visit some of our nicer stores in the winter, because they just catered to the winter crowd. I coined the name local card. I created a card, which it's kind of similar to what he's going to bring back in here right now. I created this local card. It was before the times of being able to type your phone number in and store points. It was before the times of being able to swipe shit. It was just a plastic card. What I did was I basically created a kick-ass flyer. It was about this big, and it said, "Here's your local card," across the top, and it talked about the discounts you could get and the places, some of the places you could use your card at. And basically that card had postal glue on the back, and it had one of these cards, which will come in a second, had a card right on the front. My wife at the time thought I was crazy to mail 18,000 of these to Park City, but I did mail 18,000 of these cards. Bulk rate, drop sort, cost me about $6,000. I put 18,000 of those things in the mail, and 2 days later I had 13,500 cards registered. No shit. I have the database still in my computer. This piece of mail did not get thrown out. It was one of the few things that made it off the table, out of the mailbox, off the table, in front of someone, that someone's like, "Cool, I'm gonna register this card." All you had to do with every one of the cards was just like a credit card. Type in your number, give your first name, your last name, and your email address. Boom, your card was registered. Didn't need to swipe it, didn't need to give your number, you just flashed it. And what we did was we worked a deal out with restaurants where people use their local card. They get a discount on meals when they eat in the summer. Restaurants started staying open during the summer. People started using this local card. I sold that for a lot of money to Safeway, and so began the whole local card, or the green thing. And I wish I never did, actually, because I could have probably made royalties off.
with Safeway on that deal.
Did you?
On my plumbing company.
Yeah, well, all of their stores took that concept, and then they ran with that concept, and it basically was just the card you get now, the loyalty card.
It was expensive.
Yeah. But anyway, the point being, I believe a lot in those type of cards, and I believe in them so much that one of the first things that I kind of started thinking about what I wanted to do, and I don't know if you guys even have my business cards. I should probably get those things floated around the room if anybody wants to float them around the room. But I believe in pieces of your business that are a little more permanent. Like someone puts a paper business card in their wallet, like I always do when I go to trade shows. I end up packing them in there with all my money. I end up coming home. I end up taking those cards out. I put them in a little pot up in my house in this bin my wife gave me for my ADD, and so I don't lose them. I show you. I just pop these down on anyone who doesn't have one. For what it's worth, just look at them. This is not the VIP card, but I believe in having something more permanent, because when it's more permanent, someone's going to actually stick it in their wallet. And when they're thinking about renting a bike, I hope that they actually remember, oh shit, I got that thing in there in my wallet. Which leads to the whole VIP card, and which he's going to bring in right now. I'm just going to have him run some of these things around. Let me see those boxes. How I do my VIP cards, or how I plan to do my VIP cards, is I have one of these boxes is life. I have 100 cards in here. You just pass this thing around and whatever, take a look at them. Just make sure they make their way back down here. But notice the difference on these cards. You'll see that the second to last group of numbers is different on each card. One is 4050, one is 2010, one is 2530 or something. And those are your discounts. When somebody registers this card on my website, it automatically dumps them into a database, and it automatically creates a discount for them. They automatically get 15% off rentals and 25% off our online store purchases. The other card that's floating down the way, or that's making its way down, I don't know, are you passing these down?
Yeah, I passed it.
Yeah, I'm just going to pass them down. They're all the same card, but you get the general gist of it is, and this is the one that I am going to give to every single person that ever rents a bike from me, which is another reason why, and I'm not like trying to pump myself up right now, or my business or my plan up. I'm trying to tell you that I think there's a way that we can all participate in something like this that doesn't require a big outflow of cost. If you look on these boxes somewhere, you'll probably see they came from China. They cost me about 7 cents to make each. And to get a box of 250, I spent like 45 bucks. But yet, it's a credit card. And the concept being, whenever somebody rents one of my bikes, here we keep them going around the room. When somebody rents one of my bikes, the very first thing I do is I let them know I appreciate their business. The next thing I let them do, or I let them know is I want your repeat business. Here's a VIP card. You've rented from me once. That makes you valuable to me. And giving them that card makes them feel valuable to you. And it's amazing what these VIP cards can do. I can tell you from firsthand experience, because people who had that Park City local card thought they were black cards, because they got 50% off in the summer. They got cool deals in different places in Park City, and that's why it was bought for me, because those companies realized the value in it. The other very cool thing about that card when it gets registered on our website is that person's, like I said, that person's information, first name, last name, and anything else I want to ask, but primarily we're worried about first name, last name, email, and phone number. I have that phone number, and once a month, or a couple times a month, I download that information, I upload it into my texting program, and we now have in upwards of 500 riders. Some of you are probably on our list. I'm guessing, I don't know who's on our list. You guys get our email, our text? Yeah. We have 500 riders now. Every single event we go to, we have people scan the back of our card. It registers in our database, and now I have a way when Amber wants to do an event. What's that one on July 22nd? Backwoods Bash. Backwoods Bash. She says, Glenn, I just want to make sure that this thing goes off. Amber, I got you. I push a button. I say Backwoods Bash on a Wednesday, coming up this Friday, or coming up this Saturday, July 22nd. 500 riders are going to get that information. She is going to have a good turnout. Text is a good way to market. So my concept is, this is just one of my concepts, and then I'll shut the hell up. I think we should have some sort of an agreement. We should somehow walk out of here with some sort of an agreement. We should somehow come to some cohesive idea about how we might do this. But I think if somebody, well, I don't even know where the cards are now, but if somebody walks in with one of those cards to Amber's place, maybe they get 10% off. I think it would be cool if we all sort of had some number in our head that, tune-up just came in, right? Yeah. Like, if they flash that VIP card from Route 101 and it says, it doesn't matter what it says on it, because if somebody comes into tune-up, I keep wanting to call you tune-up masters, but Carlsbad tune-up, but
we are tune-up masters.
These guys help people get their beards and hair in check. But the one card that I give out the most, and that I'm going to give out the most, and the only card that anyone should ever honor, is the 10-15 or the 15-20. And I just think it would be really cool if one of my people showed up at Bob's and flashed that card and said, I heard you give a discount to VIP members from Route 101. Bob goes, yeah, you get a 15% discount. Good. Look, I don't care who you are, but half a loaf of bread is better than no loaf at all in this economy. Riders are spread very, very, very thin. A little bit of love goes a long way, and you'd much rather have that customer come once, twice, 3 times, or 4 times than not come to your fucking place at all. And the discount is worth it, man. I don't care who you are. I mean, at your place, I don't know how it would work. I mean, you've got the rooms up there, and we'll get to all that stuff. I mean, the introduction should have been much more intense, because Amber's got some crazy cool stuff going on up at her place, and we'll get to it. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna shut up, man. I mean, the bottom line is, get your wheels ticking about how this card can work. They didn't make it back. Somebody stole them. Keep them coming.
Of course, the lawyers.
Just keep them coming down the line. I'll get you one, Gabriel. Don't you worry. You're gonna be a VIP. But I would like to know that if they show up down at their place for a trim in their beard, or they want to get a haircut, like, these guys know when they see that card, they get a deal. Likewise, they have a client at their place. Somebody shows up with a card, wants to rent a bike, I honor it. Somebody shows up from your place, wants to rent a bike, I honor it. Someone shows up from Bob's place. Do we all have our own card? Do we have one unique card? Do we come up with some name, SoCal Collective, and we make our own card, and every one of us has it, and we distribute it to our people? So I get a discount on legal services. You never give a discount on legal services.
This is a little above my pay grade, but we'll figure something out.
But I mean, all of us here at this table, I'm sure, can afford to give some degree of a discount. But you have to get in that mindset that you understand that giving a discount, like people always expect, once you give them one discount, then they expect it always. You're goddamn right. Either that, or they're going to your competitor. So make up your mind. You want to give them a 10% discount, or do you want to watch them go to somebody else who's going to give them that discount? So, okay, that's my piece. I shut up. I give the chair to my dear friend Amber.
I just wanted to parlay on what he was saying about the cards. During lockdown, we actually did patches. So So we did a very limited run of We Don't Hide, Josie's Hideout. And anyone that came out and supported us, I don't know if anyone in this room.
I was there.
He made it for me. He made it for me. They got this patch, and it wasn't like super, on top of everything. And then we also had ones that people ride out if it's 100 degrees or if it's raining. So you can earn these patches. The lifetime lockdown ones are over. But what I found, and I told people 50% off one item if you use it. 98% of those people that have those patches show it to us but don't want the discount because they want to make sure that we're still in business. But it gives them a sense of pride. So having something like that, for us it's a patch. Not everyone can wear them, but they can put them inside somewhere. But it works.
It's 100. You belong to something.
Yeah.
You're not just a customer that came and rented a bike from me and then you disappeared off into the blue skies. You actually could call us back and let us know you're one of our VIPs, and we're going to say, oh man, we're so glad you're back. Or when they show up with the patch on, wow, dude, it's so good to see you. Let me keep it. I don't want the discount, man. I love you. I'm here to support your business. Anyway, I do think we should kind of like brainstorm after all that stuff you've heard. Hey, we need another couple chairs, huh?
This one's free because Ryan's standing.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
I was like,
you can introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, leave me alone. Hello, everybody. My name is Douglas Peralta. I'm the owner of California Motorcycle Community. I run a page on Instagram and Facebook with almost 8,000 members. Numbers don't mean anything to me. I made my group because I got tired of everyone's BS and politics, so I keep all that out of my page. Sorry if you guys disagree with me on that. Sorry if you disagree on any of that, but I don't know anything about it, so that's a plus on my page.
Well, you just submitted the introductions, but we're going to be sticking around for a little bit, and you can meet everyone afterwards. But anyway, I don't want to see this fizzle out on this note. I would love. I know. Where's my boy Jason? Jason's down here. Jason's pretty well connected. We just found this out about each other. I worked for Guns N' Roses for 8 years and Van Halen for 4. He worked for Tony Braxton, and we were talking about like we don't have to just do an event that gets 200 riders or 400 riders. We can go rent a location, and we can do 10,000 people, and we can all be participants to some degree in that event and capitalize on the exposure for our brands, the exposure for our companies, and the exposure that it might take. We can find some place out. I mean, we do a festival at the lake, and you got cabins to stay. She's got, by the way, Amber's got 20. I don't even know. How many of you even know that the Hideout has 22 cabins up above that?
12.
12? Oh, I thought it was 22.
Been riding up there for years, never knew.
I heard about them, but I've never known how
So
to
they've
put them.
basically just come online. I actually just was putting out a proposal for a group, so we can do full property buyouts, where basically we lock the gate, nobody else comes in.
I like that sound.
Yeah. We've got like 11 cabins and a house that sleeps 15, and then we have Josie's backyard, which we've had about 40 campers, and we have 2 more areas we're developing for campsites. We have a bunch of RV sites now, like 5 of those. We just did my son's wedding there, had 164 people. It was awesome, like amazing. We're going to be doing weddings, events, festivals. We're putting in platform, what's it called? Stage. Platform stage on top, and the view is of Lake Henshaw. It's insane. I mean, it's not huge, but you could do like a small concert up there. You could do one down on the main stage. A lot of little areas.
Up top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a curfew?
So I can have live music till 2 a.m.
Oh, nice.
After
Who's going to come stop it after 2?
I do have some neighbors that
Just
start
Kanaka's they
calling.
love to party. We party all night.
Yeah, the local Indian tribe's gonna show up.
Legally, I can go to 2, and the sheriff will tell them, nope, sorry, she has till 2. After 2, they have to show up and tell us.
What's the largest event that you guys host?
Hold my beer.
So we've done probably, I think the first Plead 5 event, there was probably about 1,500 people there. We've done some other events with, everyone always finds a parking
I
spot.
did a burnout before I left last time.
Yeah.
I saw a lady up by the stage going. Oh, whoops.
For the most part, our club, we kind of have our own lane, but we get along with everyone. We're a family club. We don't have to deal with the 1% or the outlaw politics per se. With that being said, a lot of our events that we hold, we go from one. We're a drinking club with a riding problem, is what we say, right? For the most part. So we'll start somewhere, we'll pregame, and then we'll go to another spot, and for the most part, we end up spending hours at that place. What I would like to see is for us to do a little bit more riding, so we start somewhere, and then we go to another spot.
Poker room.
Not so much a poker run, because once you get to a certain point, passing out the cards, at the end of the day, someone has 6 cards or 7 cards, and there's only 5 cards in poker. You know what I mean? So really, it just fizzles out, and nothing ever becomes of it. But what I'm trying to get to is there's more than enough places within this room to make stops and, bring that whole event to Josie's, or end up at Josie's and have a wild time at your place, and rent that place and shut it down, But I mean, we're part of COC, it's a coalition of clubs, and a lot of the clubs, I think we have 85 or some odd clubs in San Diego, but we meet monthly or every other month. And what the main point is, our events, we have to bring it to COC and make sure none of these events layer on top of each other.
Correct.
Right? So to organize it, I think what you're doing is great. I think all of us being here in one room, I think it's awesome. It's the beginning of a beautiful relationship. I think it can grow. I think we're on the right page. I ride freestyle motocross as well, so I'm in Descanso. So I've grown up around motorcycles, same as Glenn here. So I think we're on the brink of some great opportunities that could be. The social media thing, I don't do much.
Well, that's good, because we got a couple people in here that really do it well.
I'm not really good at it. I just don't, and that's a new page for me. But.
Well, you talk to your charter and you see which guys want to get on that list, man, and which guys want to register.
There's a lot of clubs that is looking for something a little bit more organized for the event.
Yeah, so they don't have to do social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff to do during the day when we do the events. Yeah. A reason to, because we do a lot of fundraisers.
Some of us post at the last minute so the feds can't track it.
I didn't see it, you did.
35 years MCs.
Helicopter parked outside your house.
They're more organized than we as all the independents are, and they don't if your club does an event, everyone commits to showing. Like when I do an event with a club out there,
they're gonna follow the event.
I know people are coming because they're required to come. And they're required to come out and support. So if one person's doing it and everyone else says we come out to support it, I know I'm going to get 5 to 1,000 people that day. So if we can do that as more of a independent collective, for lack of a better word, okay, this is our event in your place, or we're doing this or that.
It's like a coalition of businesses versus a coalition of clubs. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like a cabinet per se.
Yeah, with our clubs and our social media impact influencers, and our business owners, our social media people, and our clubs, and our clothing brands or whatever.
I want to commend you for the effort, man. This has a huge potential for the community at large. I'm fairly new to the motorcycle scene and really riding, but it's easy once you're in it. It's easy to see how segmented it can be.
Yeah.
I
like to say diluted.
Diluted. Yes. Well, that's another great example. And obviously what we do is for all riders, whatever portion or whatever cut, whatever you're into in the motorcycle, we got your back. We also have at our disposal great graphic designers. You mentioned the flyer and like a communal thing. We can certainly help with that. And we have buys with 1015 KGB and 91X. So any event around the corner, we can certainly promote that way.
No, and that's the thing is like, I think maybe more than anything from this is we've sat down and we've talked about some ideas. We've talked about this card. We've talked about how maybe we do a separate card. But if someone does show up at your place, Amber, and they throw one of these cards down, I'd love for them to know they're gonna get some special royal treatment, man. Or if Amber happens to notice that somebody's wearing one of our shirts, like, hey, we buy you a beer, or do something cool like that, man. Like, just as if somebody were to mention your place, I'm gonna, of course, we're already talking about some other things that we're gonna do. And there were some people that were going to come with Amber too that are pretty influential people that do some really cool stuff that weren't able to make it today. But, those people are going to send business my way, and of course we're going to take care of them, and in turn, send them business. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the general gist of it. Had we done this a little bit later, I would have had those coolers filled with Pacificos, and we could have gone out to the deck and...
now we're talking.
Believe me, I was just in the store. I was in the store. I'm like, do I go for it? No, I'm not going to do it. These guys won't take me serious.
Glenn, what I'd be interested in is, and I didn't give you all my background. I had a plumbing company. I was in 32 cities doing 50 service calls a day, $250,000 in revenue a month. And I broke my neck last year. So I ended up, and now I'm walking, man.
Yeah.
I was in the hospital.
I don't know if that's better.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but I was in the hospital 4 months, 29 surgeries, paralyzed for 2 months of it, and in bed a year during COVID, and I lost my plumbing company, and I just took a different direction. I go, working 80, 90 hours a week, I have 8 kids and 14 grandkids. Laying in the hospital bed, my wife filed divorce on me and took off, so I lost 3 houses and a ranch, 80 animals, a petting zoo, and nonprofit. Right now? No, listen. but in the plumbing company, what I did to establish repetitive business and loyal customers is I sold memberships.
Yeah.
And I sold 20,000 memberships for $99 a year in the first year, and just it brought me loyal customers.
Yeah.
That even when one of my service guys messed up, we were doing 50 service calls a day. When one of them messed up, it gave me the opportunity to make it right. They belong to me, we belong to them, we're a family together. And so marketing was my thing, and I run another organization, it's a nonprofit called Citizens and Bikers for a Brighter Future, and we rescued sex trafficking kids and women, over 700 last year. And I have 500 volunteers in the state of California, and we're in 7 states. But I'd like to be involved on a marketing level and help to go around and maybe pitch the idea to local businesses that we could brainstorm, put a list together. You said we're at the table, we're all talking with what we can put in. I'd like to pour into that. My whole direction of life is, I've got this inertia, it's like, it's when you're stuck in bed, you get to get out of bed. When you get to get out of bed, it's different to look at it that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd like to put in as much as I could do for you that way, and for us.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't even know how many people we are now. It looks to me like we're probably over 20, but I think maybe 22, 23 people. But every single one of us has a friend in the business. I mean, Bob was able to make it here kind of like, it was spur of the moment. We had to remind him this morning, get him out of bed.
Oh, yeah.
But there are people that, there are probably 15 people that just last minute weren't able to make it here that are equally all as fired up and equally as influential and have huge followings, big businesses that with a collaborative effort of some sort. I don't know how that's going to look, but just how I vision it is, at least one person, even if it's me, takes the reins of at least, first thing, I mean, one thing I think for sure before we all leave, we should get one of these pads, or on each of your pads of paper, but we should make sure that I have your first name, your last name, your email address, and your phone number. Because what I definitely think I should have, if I get nothing else out of this, is I should have this group in a separate email, text, notification system where I can say, hey guys, thanks for showing up. We conquered a lot of ground. Here's the link to today's meeting so you can take a look at it. And by the way, please forward it on to anyone that you think would be interested in kind of participating or throwing their 2 cents in. And then, I don't know, do we meet again in a week, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or do we meet monthly? Yeah. I mean, we're going to obviously outgrow this room. But, I mean, we can just put another row of seats behind us. But one thing I know for sure, after our first ride, we had about 100. I want to say we had about 200 people because we had 130, 150 bikes, and most of them had 2 people on them. But if anyone was there at our first ride, I can tell you that although it got slow at some points, we took a coastal route and then we dipped into La Jolla Shores to look at the seals. We were all walking our bikes. It got a little nutty, but I get phone calls and I get emails every single day from people that want to know where's the next ride, when are you doing it. I need to know where my next ride's going to be. I know my next ride's going to be to Amber's place, but I need to make sure that...
There's also Descanso Junction. They weren't able to make it here, but Descanso Junction is on the 79, you know, on your way to Julian, as soon as you get off the 8. And that's just another venue. So Amber has a venue, Descanso Junction. They have a whole stage in the back. It's another venue. I think the more venues you have, the more advantageous it'll be to the community at large, because at that point you can have a cabinet of people that are putting into this pot, like how you were saying, and we have a choice of different venues for different weekends for doing different things where everyone can benefit from.
Absolutely. 100% happy. And I'll tell you one thing, and I know you'll agree. I know you will, at least.
Sure.
We like to party.
Yeah.
And I have no problem.
I hate to party. I can't stand it.
We have no problem, man. I have no problem leaving my house at 10 in the morning and ending up, just say random, ending up at Stagecoach and putting back some cocktails. And then going from there after an hour or two over to Amber's and putting back a lot more cocktails. I mean, I try to kind of limit it, you know, I'm not going to go on a limb and perjure myself or like whatever, like get myself in trouble with. But the cool thing is you could actually hit 3 spots in a day, and that business could get just as much revenue in that single 2-hour, 3-hour period before we split on to the next spot, and then go and get, and then that place, Amber's place, you know, the Hideout could get another, you know, whole.
San Diego chapter grand opening would be next year, so we
that's right.
be expecting.
You forgot to mention you're opening a San Diego chapter.
Yeah, San Diego chapter, our grand opening will be next year sometime. So at that point, you know, we're looking at 500 of us, just us.
Yeah.
You know, so who knows how many people are gonna grab, huh?
You can camp with us.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
We really shut it down at 2. Sorry, earlier.
You just get to turn the loudspeakers
There you go.
So I guess the question I would have, sorry. I guess the question I would have is,
hey, I got to tell you a story real quick. I'm so sorry, dude. I got ADD. You know me. This guy right here, we met through Route 101, man, and it was so random, man, because he sent me a message, a DM, and I'm like, he probably didn't expect I was going to respond, but there are like 3 people managing. One of them's right here, Ryan. So you never know who you're going to get. But I happened to get his message, and I'm like, come on over. And he's like, what? And I'm all, come on over, man. Shoot over to my house, man. You're in Escondido? Well, come on over, man. 20 minutes later, he's sitting at my front porch, and we've been friends, just tight as hell ever since, man. He's a good man, incredible guy, man, and I really just love you to death, Steve. You know that. He got our first official VIP with the super steep discount. He's got card number 1. But he lost a couple brothers in the last 6-8 months here. And one of them in particular, when they were cleaning out his house, Steve, and correct me if I get this story a little bit mixed up, but in general, the gist of it is he found a small box of Pokemon cards in his closet. And he took them home, didn't throw them out, took them home, was looking at them, kind of did a little investigation on them, found out they were worth a little bit of money. I think, did you say he made like $3,000 from that box?
Yeah, not from his, I won't sell his.
Oh, yeah.
I bought a box and then realized.
And now, you know, I'm not going to say numbers, but let's just say that he's making a really, really high, comfortable 6-figure salary every year. And I told him, well, that's a present from your brother, bro. I mean, I know he's gone, but he left that there so you would get triggered and start this thing. And he's a rider, man, through and through. He's also a very soft-spoken, but very hard, loyal, protective, fiercely loving friend. And anyway, man, continue with your story. But I'll tell you, man, this story about Pokemon is just insane because of all the things that we all do in this room. I promise you, you didn't plan to have a guy that sells Pokemon cards.
If you want to add on to your building.
If anybody wants Pokemon cards.
Go ahead, man. What I was saying is, while everybody's here, what's the plan for the next ride? Right. What are we doing? When are we doing it? Let's get some commitment.
Yeah, that was
right
one of the
now.
things on my list. I'm gonna let you keep talking, but I was like, like I don't need advance notice. Like if anybody knows anything about me, you hear from me about 2 days before I'm doing something. But in our first ride, we started about 30 days out. We started letting people know. We started boosting it on Instagram and on Facebook, and we had 150 people turn out. I like to have 30 days advance notice. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Monday. Huh? You let us know about this meeting Monday.
I know. I'm not talking about this kind of shit. This is small. I'm talking about right.
We made it.
And then rescheduling it.
Yeah. But I mean, we should have an idea of what kind of like lead time people need. I've been trying. I mean, Amber's got something coming up, the Backwoods Bash, and I told her I want to be a part of that thing. What's going to take? And just trying to get in touch with Taylor, or trying to get in touch with the people that have kind of put together the flyers and are doing the marketing for it, has proven to be. I mean, we've lost a couple weeks, and Amber's gone. I think after today or tomorrow, she's going up to Idaho.
I don't know. I've got the backside brawl this weekend, so.
Yeah, you're never getting out of here.
I think another question, like I agree, we should put something on the calendar for all of us to work towards. But I mean, obviously my need is pretty obvious. Your need is people to rent your bike. But like everyone else, like how can we benefit you guys? Like what can we benefit everyone else in the room? Like I have a location. How can that benefit you guys? How can I help you with?
How about set dates for rides? Something that people will actually commit to.
No, I agree. So, I mean, the unfortunate part about that, and I think I can speak for at least a lot of people in this room, is Amber's booked out till like September. She's going to have to kick somebody out.
We can pull up Saturday.
We'll just mingle in with
roll up. Hence the monthly meetings. Right?
She's going to have to make some room for us.
I have nothing in August. Well, I have one thing. I have Rebels Run in August. And then I have a Redneck Gala in September.
So August it is.
Okay, so in August, which is usually our slowest time because it's hot, so we could call it the heater run. Any weekend except for September 6th. Heat stroke run. I've got all of that open.
August, anything but the 6th?
Anything but the 6th.
I'll throw a little something in. I do events here at the Windmill, car shows and everything else, and I want to get more bikes involved.
Hey, is that where you're from?
Well, I have a merch company. I've been doing merchandise for bands, UFC for 35 years.
I wanted to call them up and have someone from that area come, because that's a great place for us to start. My people here have kind of told me they're a little nervous about having 200 bikes out front.
Yeah, my third Sundays every month, year round, we do it. Cars, and I've got live music. I do about 100 music shows all over San Diego every year. Plus, we have a full booze line, so all the venues all over SoCal, they carry our booze. Casbah, Humphreys, everybody. But third Sunday, Josie's carries it. It's called the Hideout, actually, our vodka. So, every third Sunday, it's all free. Live bands. I have great bands that I've worked with for years. So it's a huge parking lot. I can do anything I want with that parking lot every third Sunday. So
how many people does that place hold now?
It's huge. So,
I know. I've been in. Yeah. We were just there eating breakfast the other day.
Yeah.
It opens at 11 though. Do you think you could talk them into opening up early?
Oh no, I can do anything I want there. Yeah, because I mean, there was one guy that cut us off right before summer last year after we built it up, and he's gone now. He got fired. The vendors all rioted. They're like, no, we need the car shows back. So, no, we can do early shows. We can do late stuff. We can do whatever we want. But I always have good bands there. We have live music. It's all free. It's community. So we can set off all those sections and cordon them off and have bikes all roll in early. The music starts at noon to 4 is what we do. But we can come in early. We can even have the band start early. We can do whatever, and that could be a start for a ride out to Josie's or wherever, and do that too. So just something to think about, but it's every third Sunday. So yeah, whatever you guys want, we can make it work there.
Yeah, let's just make sure we get. I mean, like I said, everybody write their contact information and
There's a
who they're
pad
with.
going around for that right there, Glenn.
Right here.
Just keep-
Am I gonna be able to read any of this?
August 20th or July 16th.
It's the card that fell on the floor. We read his.
Just make sure it's legible, because I can't read. I can't write or read. I've been typing on a computer so long I forgot how to write. Like you saw how my mom's like, you should have been a doctor. You've seen how I fucking write those scripts. Yeah.
Because if we put the card out, we gotta have people get knowledge, right? Say all the business owners that are part of it, we get knowledge so that people know, hey, if you go to any of these businesses, you get this percentage off. How can we promote that at the businesses, right? Can we have a sign or a banner that says, hey, take one of these cards if you did this, or hand them out like you were saying?
Well, like for instance, on most people's websites, I know like you guys couldn't do it, Gabriel, but I mean like on a lot of our personal websites, we can have partners. You can add partners, and then you can list them with the discount you get. If you have one of our cards, you get a discount.
I use this for my group, which is the regular flight pull remove tag. I tell my members, if you have one of these, you're official, and you can show it to all of the sponsors. So that way, like instead of like someone saying, "Oh, hey, I'm on California Motorcycle Community page," when in reality they're not, and they're trying to take advantage of the system. So I give them this, and it shows they're official. So maybe like if all of us do something like that, we could put like each letter of our
I think everybody gets a tattoo. What do you think?
You have a tattoo?
I'll put one right on my cheek, right here.
Right on my cheek.
The more visible, the bigger the discount.
Yeah.
This is cute. This is cute.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that brings up a good and valid point. Like, if each of us wants to do our own thing, like my thing is this card. If that card plops down, then everybody at the hideout knows that that person's gonna get something.
Glenn, we should start a website for the, sorry to interrupt, for the card. That way everybody.
I was thinking about that today. I was thinking
you know?
like if you just put down like I just randomly thought.
And we have to print everything on a card.
The SoCal Coalition.
Yeah.
Or
That
the
way,
SoCal,
if anyone gets involved with any one of these people here, it'll still end up in the same directory.
Yeah, like
You know,
a Route
where they come
1
from.
family.
One pool.
Right.
With the
SoCal
leadership.
Riders Coalition. Does anybody
There you
like
go.
that?
I like it. Second.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, I can actually spin up a website in my sleep. So.
Yeah, there you go.
We haven't got SoCalRiders.com yet, so that's all you.
Really?
Save it right now. Go Dash.
As long as this affiliation stays current. No, I mean, one thing that we as a group, we have 450 active members, and we know that they're active in our, at least in our Discord server, because we weed out the people that are inactive every month. And one thing that we lack in is that, like me, I'm based in Long Beach, so everything I do is kind of around Long Beach. But we have a bunch of people down south, down here. We have 3 leadership members that are in this area specifically that we just need rides and events to be put on.
Yeah,
and
you told where to go.
Exactly, and the stuff that you create.
We're all like West Coast Motorcycle Collective.
Yeah.
We'll
These
pack
rider
it.
pools could all be divided up in areas and kind of work together with, you know, those 4 or 5 different areas, saying, hey, what do you guys got going on in your area? Pull from that and pull back and forth, and you know, that way we're not crossing over and saying, yeah, we're bringing a bunch of guys from Orange County and we got 86,000 riders down here.
Yeah.
So random question right now, like, so whenever an event is going on, where does everybody go look to find out what the events are right now?
No, it's all people storm.
Yeah, so I mean,
You gotta go on a Harley site and like a dealer site, and then they hide it if they want to sell you something.
Exactly.
so that's
San
the
Diego
tricky-
Harley?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a sicky.
There's a
tricky part
Well,
right
now we have a website being created.
Oh, you can create a website and Instagram. But
There's
a couple social media sites on Instagram. I think there's one called Motorcycle Events or California Motorcycle Events.
There's one that's just
But
Southern California.
if we design one with everybody in this room,
Right.
and post everybody's event, then it's just gonna get that kind of traffic, and then we'll have that leadway right there.
Exactly.
That's
So
what I
if you
do.
just start posting, yeah, and that's what you
I spend 3 hours a day.
Yeah, and it's
looking for events.
It's a lot of work, but it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, there's no set site right now that everybody just goes to, because that's why so many toes are getting stepped on right now, because everybody's, oh, I see this event, I'm gonna go over here. They tell a couple friends.
Up north,
they go
we
over
have
there.
United
There was another
Bikers in
event
Northern
that,
California.
you know,
If you do the same thing we're talking about now and keep this coalition together, we're stronger together.
Yeah.
Some events you don't even know anything about unless you show up at someone's place
Exactly.
and grab a flyer off the counter.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Yeah, my wife will send me something like,
Yeah,
she's like,
stack
you know,
flyers
this is
at
going
home.
on. I'm like, yeah, so it's so hard to try and find, you know, where the events are going.
I would like to start to cut back on the amount of money I spend boosting our posts when we have events. Man, it would be cool if we had a place where we could send riders, at least kind of get them in the know, like, hey, go check this.
You're gonna get everybody that's gonna want to follow right off the bat just because they just want to find out where the events are.
Still like well, then we could have members to that website that could create the calendar, or certain admins that could administrate that calendar.
Anybody who has a VIP card can, like when they log in to register, there could be a thing that says events, a tab. Click on it, it shows you a list of events for the month.
But don't have it show to an event. You have it take it to that Instagram page.
It'd be cool if it was connected to a card, so you couldn't even see the event until you registered and gave us your phone number, your first name, your last name, your email, and your contact information. Because
there's also the website Confederation of Clubs. They have a calendar there that they have all the events that are coming up and coming for different clubs.
But that's just club events.
Just club events.
Right.
But just so you know what's going on, so we don't overlap it, and we can maximize the amount of people that come to the other event.
Or if you know I'm having one of those events at my place, you can be like, hey, we're going to go do our event at this
such
place.
and such, and then wind up at
or move it to another date.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I think
that's what
well, that's the whole concept, Amber. Is like we can't be at your place every Saturday and every Friday and Saturday. I want to be. Trust me, I want to be. But
I'll live with that.
Calvin?
But that's the thing is like when you're having like on the grand scale like we were talking the other day, like some of these groups or some of these bands or some of these people that you're doing events with, they're going to pull 1,500 people. You know it's going to be a big event. But when you're like kind of on the fence and you're not really sure, it's like, hey, you guys, let's put together. I think I could use another 500 people here. We got 3 weeks. You guys want to get together and like pump it up, and then we send that text out to everyone, let them know, hey, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
ultimately, it's to help me, help you.
People
help me, help you.
As
Right?
Vince Vaughn says.
Yeah.
One thing I like, and it's on a lower scale, but there's a website called Team Up, and it's a calendar website, and I have 4 of them. I use it. I send it to my friends just so they know what my schedule is. But it's teamup.com. You can make separate calendars, so you could have a SoCal Riders calendar, a CMC calendar, one of the club's calendars, and everybody can see what everybody has put on that calendar for whatever individual day.
Yeah.
What would be awesome is to people that engage with that, just target them and redirect them to the coalition website, where everyone is listed there. There's a calendar of events, and that's I've come to learn, like, once you get people to engage with whatever sort of digital marketing you're doing for them, the trick is not to get them to engage, but to keep their eyes on you.
Without overwhelming them and blocking them.
Of course. What are you trying to say there?
I'll block your ass easily.
If you're promoting an event,
I'll like and share it. No free beer, block.
If you see the same flyer boosted from several accounts from people in this room, then you're like, okay, it's coming from these guys. Oh, whatever, I don't care about it. But I love Josie, so maybe I'll go. You get a little more way more validation.
Yeah, that's the whole concept behind this. Is like where I post something out that I'm doing a ride, and I'm pulling from however many miles away I'm pulling riders from. I'm just Route 101. But if Law Tigers is putting it out there and it shows up on your Instagram, and it shows up on Josie's Instagram, and it shows up on California Motorcycle Community, and it shows up on Tune Up. And by the way, that group over there, just so you know, I don't know, they're awfully quiet over there in the corner, but these guys are grooming men to the 3rd degree. And,
3rd degree.
They're a really, really cool new business in Carlsbad that I think that I really wanted them here, man, because I plan. It's like, oh, we should talk about that too, because there's tents involved. Like we want to be. No, I did this myself. But I want to like do something where we have my tent in front of Josie's, and I have a chair from Tune Up, and I went in Rolling Sands. I don't know how many of you guys have all been to Rolling Sands, but if you go to Rolling Sands, they actually have a barbershop in the building. And I just thought, that's the coolest shit ever, man. I thought, how cool would it be to get these guys, like, they need advance notice, but to actually have a chair in your tent while you're talking to people, meeting people, it's like, oh yeah, man, you can go get a trim if you want, on the house.
All we need is a truck, really, just to get the chair in there, and then we're ready to go.
We have our trailer. We have a 24-foot trailer. We tow everything.
Put a rubber chair in there,
we can even put 2 because we have 2 extra ones
You
as
see
well.
some strong men.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're super dedicated to tuning people up. This is the first location in Carlsbad, California. They have like 50 locations in Texas alone. There's a couple in Florida, and then there's one in Wisconsin and Tennessee. My goal is to open up more locations in the San Diego County, and then hopefully in the future, maybe like 10 years from now, one in Vegas possibly. But we have a full complimentary free bar. It's not liquor because we don't have a liquor license, but all the other locations in Texas do have real liquor and stuff. But we have complimentary beer and wine. We do haircuts, beards, shaves, manicures, pedicures too for the guys, facials, shoulder massages, and a little bit of waxing too to get like the stubborn hairs and stuff like that.
And the other stubborn hairs, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then really we just like to take care of people. We have a VIP program as well, so people pay a monthly membership from $75 to $200 per month to get those tuned up services. A lot of our VIPs come in weekly to get services done, like a weekly haircut, a weekly beard trim, shoulder massages. You can almost even customize your package as well. And then they like to get their free beer and just come see their girl, get tuned up, and then leave and have a good day. You know what I mean? And we're super into marketing, so we love to go out into the street and just hand out cards just to kind of start out with, and social media and stuff. We're super big on that, making reels and videos, making content. Trying to be really super community oriented as well, so that's why we're here today, to be involved in this meeting and hopefully in the future work with you guys to open up locations closer to your guys' home as well. So
well, the good news is riders like to ride, so it doesn't matter that you're in a different place or that you're 20 miles or 10 miles or 5 miles away from there. That's why I was saying this is your crowd. These riders are your crowd. I mean, guys ride 150 miles to go on a ride with us to a place that's the opposite direction of their homes. They ride all day, drink all day, and then turn around and ride all the way back. So you're talking about guys that are
So
wanting
I
to
had a
ride.
thought. I'm looking at my calendar here. So Sturgis is the first week in August, right?
4th to the 15th.
4th to the 15th. So what if we did like you can't go to Sturgis, so let's do, you know, sorry you can't go this year, but
Urges.
we're doing this.
Urges.
Urges.
San Diego Urges.
Yeah, San Diego Urges.
Stooges?
Arizona Bike Week, you have Waffle Bike
Did I
Week,
see
you have all
that?
these
Arizona Bike Week,
Week, born free, but that's not down in San Diego.
No, but
I'm just saying we don't have a San Diego Bike Week.
oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
We
there you
don't.
go.
You're right. You're right.
Ramona's trying to do a rally.
There is no San Diego Bike Week, no San Diego Bike Rally.
That's true.
Why can't we, in this group, begin the process of starting to talk to the powers that be and start to put together a San Diego Bike Week?
That's huge. That's huge.
San Diego Bike Week.
I like it.
Radios make sure the cops aren't coming.
I said it. Pretty good at shutting down.
And so we could do like, not an, I don't want to say anti, but
I'll come up with something.
yeah.
Sturgis.
Two Broke for Sturgis ride, yeah. So it could be like, I mean, I have a big run on the 6th, but the Saturday's free.
Saturday that.
Of
Fifth.
August.
August 5th.
Just call it San Durgis.
I don't know, does that,
That's kind of creative.
Is everybody listening?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I mean, that's kind of a ways out, that gives people time to kind of get organized.
Why don't you do once you lock down that SoCal Coalition page or whatever we're
I
gonna
can do that.
well
I could do it right now, except my phone's over there.
but once you lock that down, start an IG page, and the easiest way to start that IG page is you have the businesses that are down, like say Bob, we got the video team. They do a quick little 60-second video about how he started his business. People love that. They eat that up. They'll start following like, oh wow, that's why you started your business. That's why you're gonna go here. You have each law targets. Everybody else just quick little clips on there. Then people start following that page. Then you post, okay, Joe's is gonna have this weekend doing flyers, and then talk about your business, why you started your page, things like that. Quick little excerpts like that. Why you got into an MC, things like that. People eat
I
that
was
up.
born into it.
Huh? Yeah. Hey, but that's what it is, though. But that's what you got to say, though. People they want to relate with. People got to relate with you somehow.
I'm the
You know,
second
once they start
generation.
relating with stuff like that, they're going to start following, and then that San Diego Coalition page is going to start taking off, and that's how we're going to start getting the word out.
I like it.
And plus, there's other businesses that are looking for ways to get traffic, you know, and this is a perfect opportunity for a lot of people that are small.
One unfortunate thing that I see, I know social media is big right now, but a lot of these businesses are doing raffles. Yeah. You know, raffles are, there's a couple of big YouTube guys, they do their YouTube live, they do this stuff, and they're doing these raffles. And these raffles, these guys are making millions of dollars doing these raffles. People are buying a sticker to get into a raffle to win a car, things like that. So maybe we can start thinking of something that we can raffle off. They're gonna enter a raffle, they'll get the VIP card, they sign up to get the VIP card, then that enters them into the raffle to win $100 gift card at
No,
Joe's.
badass bike. Get people's attention.
Oh,
Like
shit.
that. You get a badass bike out there on a raffle.
But then to do a badass bike, you gotta have who's gonna ride it off.
Right.
That's where you gotta. That's where you're gonna have to get to something that big. I'm thinking of something small to get bigger.
Like a Honda Cub.
Huh? But you start off small. You start off with, hey, we're gonna raffle off.
Like Unknown Industries.
Yeah.
Just gave away like one of our customers.
Yeah. But then you get bigger and bigger and bigger. Then you figure out who's gonna. Because somebody's got to ride off the bike. Somebody's got to do all that stuff. So
Whoever's making the most money.
Yeah, exactly. But
Hey, just heads up, my son is graduating from high school today. With a 4.125 GPA.
Yeah. Are we good with SoCal Rider Coalition?
I'm back.
Yeah.
I think that was good.
Second.
I got a second. I got a third.
Yeah, no, I think that's
SoCal Rider Coalition.
Is it available?
But Glenn, if you're gonna do it, lock it in with Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
all of it before someone tries to sell it to you.
YouTube page, Gmail. So we can do, if we're gonna do SoCal Rider, then we do a YouTube live. If we're at the events, SoCal Riders Coalition, we're gonna do YouTube live. We're gonna have the guys standing around filming, doing all that
Lock
stuff.
the doors so no one goes out and buys it.
Yeah.
So,
I've been around forever.
SoCal Riders official on Instagram,
I was gonna
TikTok,
say, don't they already have that?
Gmail.
I think I've seen
But
it
that's
on
what I'm saying.
Facebook.
That's-
isn't it?
but that's
Yeah,
what
we
I'm
have
saying.
SoCal Riders official.
But
That's our name.
we need to figure out a name that all of those are open.
Yeah.
You don't want to just get one. You want to get one that's gonna have Instagram,
I understand
Facebook,
that. That's exactly what I did
YouTube,
with Ralph
Gmail.
I locked up the YouTube, I locked up the Facebook, I locked up the Instagram, I locked up the URL. Before I even start a company, the first thing I do is see if I can get it on social media.
Yeah.
That's what we did with all of our stuff.
Cabinet or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Yelp for motorcycle destinations. So I don't know what the app's going to look like. All I did was the interview, and he's been filming out there. But could be a great thing also to go in hand with this. Like you fly in from Michigan. Now I rent a bike from Glenn. Oh no, I need a tune-up or whatever. I need a place to go.
Need someone to ride with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Drink with?
You need your beard shaved?
His child was graduating today, otherwise he would have been here, but I don't know too much about it yet, but it's
You know the
launching
name?
Friday. It'll be out. The video will be out.
If this oil ship card is consumer focused, shouldn't it sound more like a merchant destination, like motorcycle merchants? Because Motorcycle Coalition sounds like a club that you'd have to be a rider or
It's
to
not
join.
motorcycle, well, I think, unless I'm mistaken, I think that we're all trying to focus our energy toward the rider community.
Okay, but isn't it a collective marketing so that we can participate in the collective
It's a
marketing?
coalition of businesses
Okay.
from the rider community, and I think that SoCal Rider Coalition lets people know that it is going to be a rider coalition. It's going to be a rider group, and the coalition part of it is us. We're the businesses that are providing a service to this coalition.
Advisory council.
I think we're good.
Do we turn it into like a family? Route 101. generally?
Mafia. That part is gonna be what Glenn and everybody signing on that pad.
Here's
that
the
part
pad.
That part is the family right now.
Right, because we're all gonna get an email to contact us, right?
I just can't wait for the Christmas party. So you're buying domain, you're buying a domain, you're working on the website. How much money does that cost, and what does that look like for any companies that want to be involved in this in the future?
Well, I just spent $179. Instagram's free,
It's a
Facebook's
pussy animal in the room. Right?
Instagram's free, TikTok's free, Facebook is free. The only thing we had to do is buy the domains, and I like to get protection on the domains. Otherwise, I could have paid getting $14 a domain. It would have only been $20. I'm not worried about that. We own it. It collectively belongs to the crowd here, and now we just need to.
Time is money. I mean, a website costs money to host it and all that. And I definitely, by seeing how many people are here and what we can grab out of it, I definitely wouldn't want you solely to take on all the costs.
We're not here to just take, right?
Right, exactly. That's why
I mean, the most important thing is we came up out of this with something called SoCal Coalition, which we'd like to try to add more members to. We'd like to be 100 members or 200 members strong. Where, like, I mean, it does. You know, once a year we pay for the website, and we all have to chip in $5. You know, as it stands right now, like I said, I mean, if I didn't have such bad ADD, I could actually go get SoCal Coalition on Facebook while I'm talking, and TikTok as well.
What about San Diego Bike Week?
But you gotta get YouTube. You gotta get YouTube. YouTube is a key. You gotta get YouTube and Gmail, so we can do those lives and rebroadcast it from there.
I could live on Drip actually. It's a whole platform. I'm contracted with them, so we can do extra lives on there if we're trying to reach new people that it's all around the world.
But I think once you get on YouTube and do it though, the whole motorcycle just
Who's the
tagline.
media guy in
RDS
this room?
YouTube tagline, SoCal Rider Coalition.
Everyone's a media guy here. I'm behind the times.
I have like 9,000 followers.
I'm following you.
Are you?
I follow you.
Okay.
That's available.
This marketing stuff is so weird. Once you learn these algorithms and how all this stuff works, it's a whole different ballgame. And once you get into it, man, and I've launched a couple of different things. And once you get it down, it's cool. But to get it there, that first initial couple steps is tricky.
Something that might be like a cool.
But I see all this, man. It can just go. Just take off.
So we own San Diego BikeWeek.com, San Diego BikeWeek.net. We own SoCalRiderCoalition.com. All right, before everybody gets up and leaves out of here, I don't know. I don't know how often it's realistic for everyone to be here to do something like this. Do you guys want to try to table a reconvening? Is there a date we should try to shoot for? Do we want to meet in 30 days?
How about 4 weeks, 30 days? 4 weeks. Wednesday in 4 weeks.
Look at your calendars and see what's going on.
July weekend.
July 12th?
Is on what?
Is that too far away?
Oh, the day after.
We got somebody screamed out the 5th down here. I mean, not screamed, but somebody whispered in my ear in a very soft voice that the 5th. Does the 5th work for everybody? I mean, is everybody gonna still?
Yeah, the 5th will. I mean, you got 4th of July. It's a Tuesday.
What day is 4th of July?
Tuesday.
So the 5th would be a Wednesday. Wednesdays work.
Yeah.
The 5th or the 3rd?
I'm gonna take a 4-day weekend and an extra 5-day to get on there on Wednesday, aren't we?
But
Who says you're even invited yet?
But that'll give us 30 days to plan an event for Josie's, the first one.
Yeah. We're gonna be communicating.
Yeah, what about like an email thread? We said that to
Yeah, no, I know. I'm praying that every single one of you in this room wrote your name legibly. We'll find out soon enough.
Count them, head count.
We should have a contact list for everyone to be able to get a hold of each other too. Like
12?
Same place, July 12th.
So back to July 12th.
Yep. Same bad channel.
Okay, do we want to push this a little bit into the later part of the day where we have Civicos out there and
Why can't you have
Right now.
I would be much more likely.
I'm going to get one.
I would be much more likely to be able to get off early than get the whole day off.
I've already taken the day off.
So same time.
August 12th.
But half Pacific Coast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heineken.
Heineken.
July
Yes.
12th. Hawaiian, you know. Hawaiian bottles.
Like that's just you talking to you.
No.
Ah.
No Bud Light.
Just sleeping here.
No Target either.
No Bud Light for me.
All right.
I think something that might be cool, and I know I'm the only 21-year-old in the building, but just like my group uses Discord so that we can all chat together and share. You can share media, you can do video calls, you can do voice calls.
Well, hey, we're just trying to figure out how to use social media here.
But that's a good program if everybody wanted to get
Learn it.
there and learn it. That's a good way to share the flyers and stuff like that rather than everyone getting
We'll
separate
put that up for a
things.
vote. No, I'm kidding.
Huh?
Team up, you drop that?
Yeah, well, Team Up and then Discord is what we use for communication. We have one for all of our leaders, and we have one for all of our members, and we have one for all of our official members. So yeah, Discord is good.
All right. Is that it?
There's like 3 different pages of Discord.
Anything else? You guys want to go outside and get a good picture of us out on the railing while we're all here?
Yeah.
Cool, man.